Have you ever been in the middle of a conversation in English and just quietly disappeared? Not physically, in your head. Someone asks you something, and while you're still translating the first word, they've already moved 3 sentences ahead, and you just nod. Yeah, I've done that more times than I can count. So today, let's talk about why that happens and what actually fixes it. Hey, welcome back. I'm Emma, and this is the place where we slow English down, breathe for a second, and build the kind of English you can actually use in real conversations, not just in textbooks. Before we start, let's do one small thing together. Breathe in and let it out slowly. Good. Today we're talking about focus and how it's actually the secret hiding behind fluency. If that sounds new to you, stay with me because I think it might change how you practice. And hey, if you're new here, hitting subscribe just means you won't miss the next one. No pressure, just an open door. Let's start with something a lot of us believe, even if we never say it out loud. The idea that you need to know everything before you can speak confidently. Every grammar rule, every tense, every word in the dictionary. Maybe you're thinking right now, well, yeah, Sarah, how else am I supposed to have a real conversation? I understand that, I really do. But that belief is exactly what keeps so many people frozen, scared to open their mouth. So let me give you a picture instead. Think about a flashlight. A flashlight can't light up an entire room at once, that's not what it's built for. But point it at one small spot and suddenly that spot is completely clear. You can see every detail. Focus works the same way. You don't need to light up the whole language at once. You just need to point your light at one small thing right now in this sentence, in this conversation, and let that be enough. I learned this the hard way. Years ago, I tried learning Spanish and I made this huge color-coded study plan, grammar charts, 500 vocabulary words, verb tables taped to my wall. I was trying to light up the entire room at once. And you know what happened? I burned out in 3 weeks. I couldn't hold a single real conversation because I'd never actually practiced pointing my light anywhere. I was just staring at the switch, overwhelmed. It wasn't until I picked one thing, just ordering food, only that, and practiced it over and over that something clicked. I could suddenly have that one conversation, just that one. And that small win gave me the confidence to point my light somewhere else. If part of you has been thinking, I'll never be good enough, I just don't know enough words yet, I want to gently offer you something kinder instead. I know enough for this one moment right in front of me, and that is exactly enough for now. So basically, fluency doesn't come from knowing everything. It comes from being able to shine your light on the one thing right in front of you and trusting that to be enough. Here's where this connects to something I know a lot of you deal with, that moment in a conversation when your brain starts translating word by word, and you completely lose the thread of what's being said. Someone asks you a question, and instead of listening to the whole idea, you're stuck on word 1, word 2, and by word 3, they've already moved on. Here's a picture to hold on to. Imagine you're holding 5 cups and you're trying to pour water into all of them at exactly the same time. What happens? The water spills. None of the cups actually fill up. That's what happens when you try to translate every single word. You're pouring your attention into too many cups at once, and the meaning just spills right out of your hands. Real listening isn't about catching every word. It's about pouring your full attention into one cup, the meaning, the feeling, the shape of what the person is saying, and letting the small words go. Think about ordering coffee. If the barista asks, "Would you like room for cream?" and your brain freezes trying to translate room, you miss the whole question. But if you're focused on the shape of it, they're asking me something about my coffee, something about milk, you can usually guess, ask again, or just respond naturally. That's real listening. It's the same in a job interview or a quick chat with a neighbor. The goal was never to catch every word. It was always to follow the meaning. And I want to gently reframe something here because I know some of you are thinking it. I'm just bad at listening in English. That's not true, and I want you to hear this clearly. You're not bad at listening. You're still learning to listen for meaning instead of every single word. That's a skill, and skills grow. So basically, stop pouring your attention into every single word. Pour it into the meaning. 1 full cup is worth so much more than 5 cups half spilled. Now maybe you're sitting there thinking, okay, Sarah, but if I can only focus on one small thing at a time, how do I ever learn everything I need? That's such a fair question. Honestly, it's the one I get asked the most. Here's the answer, and it goes back to our flashlight. one flashlight beam only lights up one spot. But what happens when you point that flashlight at 100 different spots, one after another, day after day? Eventually, those spots start to overlap, and overlapping light doesn't stay small anymore. Little by little, without you even noticing exactly when it happened, the room gets brighter. That's fluency. It's not one giant light switching on all at once. It's hundreds of small, focused moments quietly overlapping until one day you realize you can see the whole room. When I was learning Spanish, I didn't wake up one day fluent. I focused on ordering food. Then, weeks later, small talk with my neighbor, then asking for directions. Each one felt small, almost forgettable in the moment. But one afternoon, months later, I was having a full, easy conversation with a friend, and I stopped mid-sentence and thought, wait, when did this get easy? All those small flashlight moments had quietly joined together while I wasn't even watching. So if you've ever told yourself, I'll never be fluent, there's just too much to learn, let's gently reframe that together right now. It's not too much to learn all at once. It's just one flashlight moment and then another and then another. You are already building fluency, one moment at a time. Quiet, invisible growth is still growth, so basically you don't need to see the whole room today. You just need to keep pointing your light one spot at a time and trust the room is getting brighter than you think. There's one more piece I want to add because I think it might be the missing piece for a lot of you listening right now. A lot of us practice English entirely inside our heads. We think in English sometimes, we listen to podcasts like this one, we read articles, but when it comes to actually opening our mouths in a real moment with a real person, it still feels hard. Maybe you're thinking, yes, Sarah, that's exactly my situation. Here's why that happens. Think about a muscle. You can read about lifting weights all day. You can watch videos, take notes, understand the theory perfectly, but that muscle only actually gets stronger the moment you pick up the weight and lift it. Focus works the same way. All the listening and understanding in the world builds a foundation, but the muscle of real conversation only grows when you use your voice out loud in a real moment. So here's something small I want to offer you. You don't need a full conversation partner to practice this. The next time you order a coffee or greet a neighbor or answer a simple question, instead of rushing through it nervously, try zoning in completely on just that one small exchange. Nothing else, let that one moment be enough. I used to think, I don't have anyone to really practice my English with, so how am I supposed to improve? And I want to gently reframe that thought with you because I don't think it's actually true. Real practice is happening in small, real moments all around you, every single day. Even a 2-second exchange with a cashier counts. You don't need a perfect classroom. You need small, real, focused moments collected one after another. So basically, this isn't just something you listen to. It's something you practice out loud in the small, real moments of your actual life. Okay, now let's do something I love, a slow little word tour with phrases that fit exactly what we talked about today. I'll give you the meaning, a picture to hold onto, and 2 example sentences. Nice and slow. To zone in on something, this means to focus completely on one specific thing, blocking out everything else. Picture a camera lens adjusting until only one object is sharp and everything else goes soft and blurry. I zoned in on the one word I understood and it helped me follow the rest of the sentence. When I feel nervous before speaking, I zone in on my breathing first. Tongue-tied, unable to speak clearly, usually because you're nervous or confused, like your tongue has literally tied itself in a knot. I got so tongue-tied when the waiter asked me a question I didn't expect. Don't worry if you feel tongue-tied at first, it happens to every single one of us. On the tip of my tongue, that feeling when a word is so close to coming out, sitting right at the edge, but it just won't jump free yet. What's that word again? It's on the tip of my tongue. I knew the answer, it was right on the tip of my tongue, but I lost it. To get the hang of it, to slowly become comfortable and skilled at something new, like learning to ride a bike, wobbly at first, smooth without even thinking about it later. At first, English grammar felt impossible, but I slowly got the hang of it. Give yourself time, you will get the hang of it. To keep up with something, to match the speed or pace of something like a fast conversation or a train moving past you. I couldn't keep up with how quickly my coworkers were speaking at lunch. You don't need to keep up with every single word, just the main idea is enough. To loosen up, To relax and become less stiff or nervous, like untying a tight knot in a rope and letting it hang free. Once I loosened up, my English actually got easier to understand. Take a breath and loosen up before you start speaking. So here's what I'd love for you to do this week. Come find me in the comments and tell me what's one English word or phrase that's been sitting right there on the tip of your tongue, one you'd love to finally feel comfortable using in a real conversation. You can start your comment like this. The word I want to zone in on this week is because I really do read every single one and I love knowing exactly what you're working on.